Hello, welcome back. Christie Aphrodite of Soul Journeys Radio and mytrueessence.net. And let's see, I think I got, I got all the paint off my face. But anyway, sorry for that. I just wanted to kind of do a funny video, just making fun of the whole situation, not being pretty enough for people to listen, and that's okay. So, whew, got that out of my system. I actually really did want to do a video, a serious video, talking about what you can do for depression and anxiety. And I know that we're taught these things are supposed to be medicated, and we have a chemical imbalance. And I think I've talked about this before, and definitely often on Soul Journeys Radio. But Dr. Peter Breggin himself, who's been in the industry, I don't know, 50-something years, has written like 20 books on brain disabling drugs and talking back to Prozac and all wonderful information. He even admits there is no science behind this chemical imbalance we're taught that we have based on a set of symptoms because we're sad that our dog died, or we don't want to sit still in a classroom for 8 hours, or whatever it is. They're sets of symptoms that, it's basically the making and marketing of a disease. So anyways, he admits there's no science behind it, and that nobody should be on these drugs. So, of course, whether you want to take the drugs or try Mother Nature, give Mother Nature a chance, that's totally up to you. But if you do want to try Mother Nature, I'll share with you a few herbs that work really well. In fact, I know there's a lot of people addicted to like Valium and run to the doctor for Valium when they're diagnosed with like bipolar, anxiety, and depression and such. And valerian is considered, nature's tranquilizer, and it's literally been cited in like virtually every pharmacopoeia for, hundreds of years. So all over the world, Chinese, Eastern medicines, of course, because, we know what we're doing in America. Take a man-made drug because God is stupid. So anyways, valerian has a wonderful kind of sedative effect. So it's used for, sleep disorders that also go along with anxiety, nervousness, exhaustion. It affects the cerebrospinal system. So it's excellent for like unrest and neuralgia. It's also excellent for epileptic seizures. So if you're diagnosed with epilepsy or having seizures, that can kind of help you, possibly. Also, women, hysteria. They used it in the past for hysteria. And if you don't know what that is, look it up, but get your vibrators and a cup of valerian. It acts upon the circulatory system, so it helps to stimulate secretions like in your stomach and your intestines. It's excellent for heart palpitations, even high blood pressure and such. It actually, valerian is such a beautiful plant. You probably have some growing near you, wherever you are. I guess, well, you can Google the images and check it out. If not, you can probably get some seeds. But, some people, when they look at valerian, they're like, oh man, that stuff stinks, and that's just the dried root of it. Seed, during the drying process, of course, the chemicals break down, and decompose. And so during that change is when the smell comes about. But don't worry, it's not going to smell like that if you make it as a tea. And if you're worried about that, you can mix it, say with lavender or skullcap or even peppermint, something that you like. But I promise it doesn't smell like that. So it literally can be used as a substitute, for Valium if you think you need that. It has, it's very calming without the side effects. It doesn't, suppress your immune system or interrupt your neurotransmitters or anything like that, like these other drugs are designed to do. And it has a whole nother mess of, benefits in relation to your health. It's an excellent source of calcium and magnesium. And I know people are, thinking, oh, we got to take these magnesium baths and I'm deficient in magnesium and such. Well, have a cup of valerian tea. It's not going to hurt you. It's also excellent for digestive issues, digestive disorders, paralysis, ulcers, hypoglycemia. It's excellent for your bladder, even like bronchial spasms and such, because it works on the parasympathetic nerve system. So it kind of calms that down when you're getting all tight and tense and, things start to get all wacky. So it's also excellent for like convulsions. That's why it works well with epilepsy and such. You can even make a tincture of it. Excellent for even migraines. If you have a headache, take a cup. It's excellent for, insomnia, for even fatigue. It's so funny, the synergistic properties of these herbs. It can work, to give you a little lift or to calm you down, depending on what you need. So it is an antispasmodic, and it is somewhat diuretic. So, if you do feel bloated or something, mix some valerian and dandelion. They're both diuretics, and it'll, blood cleanser. So good for your kidney and liver. But it does have sedative properties. It's not going to like get you high or, knock you out like a Percocet or anything like that. But yeah, anyway, so valerian is a really good herb. And you know what? I know they make all these different pills and, capsules and stuff, but the best way is to cut out the middleman. Just go to the source. And, the reason a lot of us are, maybe deficient and having issues is because we're kind of skipping the middleman. So, I mean, we're going to the middleman. We're skipping the source. So go to the source, cut out the middleman. Excuse me. I am thirsty. Too much talking and screaming after that last video. So anyways, yeah, go to the source. And, in regards to that depression and such, what people don't really know, and obviously we're not taught because these answers are way too simple, but when we are dehydrated, if we're not getting enough nutrition, we're not getting enough water, then the myelin sheath, the coating around our cells, breaks down. And it doesn't, the neurosynapses, the electrical responses that are being sent and received, the receptors and such, they misfire, or they can't receive or send the information properly. So you start to feel, initially, you'll start to feel fatigue. Then you might feel a little emotional or a little depressed, and then later, other types of diseases set in. So, if you are feeling down, now, first of all, allow it. Don't fight it, okay? Because, I mean, dude, if your mom died or, something like that happened, that you're supposed to feel sad, okay? That's totally normal. It's not a chemical imbalance. It's not a disease. It doesn't need a label. It doesn't need a prescription. So feel that pain. When we, I know society tells us, oh, you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to feel that way. Go take this little happy pill and, suppress it, suppress it. And then what happens? You go on a rampage and shoot a bunch of children in a school or, a college or military base or, a theater or whatever. And I don't know. I don't want to argue if those stories are true or not. Probably not. But anyways, at least some of it is. So suppression doesn't work. Okay, so know that it's okay to feel those things. And, when I get down and sad, I'll give myself a bath. I'll start pampering myself. I use essential oils, as I mentioned before. They have a really high vibration, and people are always telling you, raise your vibration. Well, what an easy way to do it than with these delicious smelling essential oils. I mean, seriously. Oh my gosh, just one inhale, and it's like instant. It works, well, Okay, you know what? I've done those shows. I don't want to go into that right now. I just want to go over some of the herbs so we don't get too far into this. But skullcap is another one. And that's basically been considered one of the best nervines or nerve tonic by herbalists. And that kind of works on the cerebrospinal centers and the sympathetic nervous system to control the nervous irritations and irritability. And it kind of just gives you feelings of well-being and calmness, and it's also really good to ease addictions and withdrawals from drugs and alcohol. You know, the properties or the detoxification properties of it help the withdrawal symptoms, you know, like with tremors and such that people will get. So anyway, skullcap is an excellent one. It's also an antibacterial and another anticonvulsive and antispasmodic. I'd say it has pretty diuretic properties as well, but skullcap is an excellent choice. You can mix them all or whatever. Somebody asked me, like, how much do you need to have? You need to have as much as you think you need to have. So whether that's, you know, 10 cups a day or 1 cup a week when you feel like you need it, or 1 cup a year, or, you know, but actually, technically, in regards to skullcap, what's the doctor? He said it's a very slow but sure method, you know, to cure. He actually said cure melancholy and depression. But you do have to use it repeatedly. It's not like one of those pills that you get, you know, from the pharmacy where you know, take a Valium or a Percocet or Soma, what are they called? Muscle relaxer or something, and you feel it right away and you feel retarded. This isn't like that. Mother Nature just, you know, doesn't really work like that, at least in this case. So it's very gentle, very loving, and it actually helps rebuild the nerve endings in your brain. And some people say it has helped with infertility. So again, this will also help with insomnia. This is also really good for hypertension, you know, high blood pressure, good for circulation. People even use it for gout and palsy and even lockjaw, paralysis, seizures, headaches, and such. So a lot of the same properties as the valerian. So skullcap is an excellent choice. So if you do want to do a tea, let's say per 1 cup, you can use anywhere between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. And this is the pure herb. And I did do a video a while back about making a proper tea, and this is for medicinal benefits. And technically, if you're an herbalist or a herbalist, it's called an infusion. So an infusion in a tea is the same thing. It's just the infusion sits longer. So I recommend, you know, at least say 6 hours of letting it steep. So that's skullcap. Another one that I mentioned in the last video is milk thistle. And milk thistle, in fact, another famous herbalist in like 97, I think, Gerard, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, it's in a book. But anyways, he said that milk thistle is the very best remedy that grows against all melancholy disease. So again, it's very highly praised, like the skullcap and the valerian, which have been in, you know, literally all pharmacopoeias all across the world for hundreds, if not more, years. This is really, really good for your liver and anything that has to do with your liver, whether it's cirrhosis or hepatitis or, you know, just, you know, toxic in general. And if you're eating a typical, you know, standard American diet, it's pretty, you know, toxic. So it protects your liver and helps rejuvenate it as well. It also helps protect the kidneys and the brain from chemical toxins. So this is actually a really good choice for you if you do have a really toxic diet. It'll help you, you know, kind of get that out. Gallbladder, it's really, really good for that as well. And you know, what can I say about milk thistle? Oh my gosh, same thing, you know, for making a tea if that's what you want, but it's also good, once again, for high blood pressure, epilepsy. It's good for relaxation, and it's also good for skin disorders. People use it for like psoriasis, and in fact, speaking of toxins, radiation, chemo and radiation. This will help you, kind of regenerate after that and rebuild your liver and remove all the toxins. So, if you know anyone that's done, chemo or radiation or something like that, milk thistle is an excellent herb for them as well. It's said to help with jaundice and convulsions as well. So hypoglycemia. And milk thistle, it doesn't really have, much of a flavor, but you actually, what valerian, the Germans would drink that as coffee. So it's a really good coffee replacement, and the milk thistle seeds will help with that as well. You can either, grind them up, or you can just, make the tea with the whole seed. But like I said, the longer you let it steep, the better. Just making a tea and letting it steep for 20 minutes, it's still going to taste good. It'll probably be relaxing. Just, the warm tea kind of helps with that in itself. But anyways, okay, so let's move on. What else did I mention in the last video? Oat straw. That's another really good antidepressant. It's antispasmodic. And it's actually very high in nutrients. It's can be used as a tonic, a blood cleanser or a stimulant as well. It also has antiseptic properties. So, say you have to clean a wound or something, you can just, say you have a tea, stick a little, a little towel or something in it and just stick it right on the wound and clean it. But it's really good to help MS. Oat straw is excellent if you have MS, so you're having any types of spasms, as well as all the other herbs. It's funny to think about. All of these herbs that are good for depression are also good, for seizures, high blood pressure, epilepsy and such. So I don't know. There might be a relation there, but who knows? So once again, this is really good as well for skin disorders. You can make like a little facial pack with it, to stick your little towel in your pot of tea or something nice and warm, stick it on your face. It's good for colds and, like the chills and sweating and, the spasms and such, muscle spasms that go along with it. It's also good for menopause, ladies. And there's many other herbs that are good for that, but oat straw is a really good woman's herb. So that, well, since we're at menopause, I guess I should throw in some red clover, which is also an excellent blood cleanser, good for your liver and kidneys, and it's also good for men's sexual reproductive health. Linden flowers are really good for that as well. But we're getting back to depression and such. This is good for constipation. If you, just aren't going to the bathroom a lot. And this is somewhat diuretic as well. So, and what I notice when people are depressed, one of the things that sets in is fatigue, and rightfully so. I mean, I know when I'm down, and sometimes I take these personal vacations because I need it. In fact, I just had one this weekend. I didn't get out of bed for like 30-something hours. I just, felt that I had to process emotions because I know that, covering them up does not work. So, if you do feel, fatigued and you need a little spurt of energy, there's essential oils to the rescue that will instantly raise your vibration. Or if you want to make, say, another tea, alfalfa is excellent for that. I mentioned that in the last video, and I was just being silly, so I didn't get to tell you all of the wonderful benefits of it. But it contains literally all known vitamins and minerals for life, like every single one. So, it's super high in like B12, and it's actually a natural fluoride source. So we're not talking with aluminum, whatever crap they get from the smokestacks. Not the stuff that you have to wear hazmat suits to put it in the water. But yeah, natural fluoride, which actually is good for your teeth. It's vitamin B12, the vitamin U factor, I think I mentioned, that is supposed to prevent ulcers and also to help them heal. Super high in vitamin C, K, and A. So, you know, alfalfa really doesn't have a lot of flavor. You can add it to like anything, any type of tea, or stick it in your food. And anyway, so those are some of my favorites. I mean, there's so many to choose from, but that was what I brought up in the last video, and I was being silly, so I actually wanted to give you real information this time, because that just wouldn't be fair. So, okay, so as far as getting back to essential oils and how they increase your frequency and raise your vibration literally instantly, I had a woman psychologist who would purchase my oils, and people would go into the you know, to her clinic or whatever, to her office, and they'd be all sad or crying and nervous or whatever, and she'd ask them how they felt and write it down, and then she asked them to smell the oil. Here, smell this. Okay, I'll smell it. So I took a couple inhales. And then like 10, 20 minutes later, she asked them how they felt, and all of them said they felt better. And, you know, they've done a whole bunch of studies on that, and I did do a video telling you, you know, what books to start with, or, you know, of course, there's Dr. David Stewart, Chemistry of Essential Oils, or Healing Oils of the Bible, and excellent work he's done, and explains it really well. But, yeah, you literally only need a drop. You can have several drops. Put them on your temples, put them right here so you can smell it, you know, maybe on your neck, anywhere you like, just as long as you can smell it. I mean, heck, I make them and spray them in my hair and, you know, do whatever. They're in all my oils and creams and lotions. I frequently get busted smelling my hand. So, just really, it's that positive vibration. And, you know, you can take a bath with essential oils and salts, and, you know, use some essential oils, put on your body for later, and it really does the trick for me. Another thing that really does the trick, it's like magic, and once again, it has to do with getting close to nature. When I feel really sad, and after I get past that fatigue phase where, you know, I want to be miserable for a while, which is fun, because then I just read good books and cry and, you know, watch a movie, and that's okay. It's not a disease. It's totally normal. What is a disease is not allowing yourself to do that and giving yourself that personal time, in my opinion. But you can make any blends of these oils or pick just one, and, you know, there's so many to choose from, so it's whatever you like. You know, maybe you don't like the flowery scent, so, you know, if that's the case, you're definitely not going to want ylang ylang, or, you know, geranium, or lavender or something. Let's say you want something a little more, you know, masculine or something. You could try lemongrass, or, you know, frankincense, or clary sage, which is actually supposed to be considered an aphrodisiac, as well as ylang ylang. But lemon is another good one. You know, put some, say, lemon, orange, and grapefruit, which, by the way, ladies, is excellent for cellulite and stretch marks and stuff. So use the oils any way you want. You can make facial packs. You can, you know, put the little, the nice warm towel over your eyes and just inhale. You could do a sitz bath, you could do a foot bath, you know, none of that really matters. What matters is that you are doing something proactive to help yourself, you know, give yourself a better state of mind and kind of get out of the dumps. Going outside, getting some sunshine, vitamin D3 is like it, and it's free. All you got to do is walk out there. So, and I know, you know, it's winter and seasonal affective disorder and things like that. And, you know, even myself, when it's like gray every day, it is kind of sad. But, you know, there are meditations and things that you can do where you can kind of center yourself and, ooh, whoops. Okay. All right, let's fix that. Okay, so you can kind of center yourself and, you know, take the source from your sun, your, you know, your center chakra, your power center here, which is, by the way, yellow and golden, you know, like the sun. So let's say you're not getting a lot of sun. You can just, you know, meditate, deep breathe, and imagine it lighting up inside here and kind of mimicking that source, and it totally works. I promise you, it totally works. Other things you can do is, like, when you're taking a shower, for instance. You know, get a nice little salt scrub or something. And salt is good to like remove vampiric energies as well as hyssop and things like that. But, you know, when you're cleansing yourself, whether you're washing your hair, scrubbing yourself, imagine yourself cleansing that pain and watching it wash down the drain. And, you know, thank Mother Nature for that beautiful water that you have to wash yourself with. And, you know, thank her, thank God, thank, you know, Mother Nature for helping to cleanse you. And, you know, let the tears flow. That's another thing. You can't resist it. You have to feel it to heal it, okay? You have to feel it to heal it. There is no healing without feeling. You can suppress it all you want, take all the drugs you want, you can run as fast as you can, but guess what? It's going to be still there waiting for you. So I think it's best to deal with it on your terms than wait till, you know, you know, who wants to like explode or get angry at your cat or, you know, whatever for just stupid stuff. So take care of yourself. Get outside. Put your hands in the dirt. Take your shoes off. Put your feet in the dirt. Laugh. If you have to turn on a comedy because you just can't find anything good in life, you know, let's say it was Valentine's Day. A lot of people I know were upset because they didn't have men or women in their lives and they felt like they weren't good enough. And, you know, I was single too, so I watched chick flicks. You know, like nice little inspirational love stories on Netflix. And, you know, that kind of helped to lift my spirits. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. If, you know, I understand that we have times where, you know, we need some outside stimulation. Now, if you do, make sure you're with friends that will keep you safe and not judge you, friends that you're allowed to cry with. I mean, bioenergetics therapy. Fantastic. Grab a pillow and, you know, let's say you're having an issue with a coworker or someone in your family and you can't speak to them or whatever. Or you're not allowed to tell your dad how you really feel. Or maybe they're dead, but you're still mad about it or whatever. Talk to the pillow. Like, hello, I hate you. You did this to me and you're a jerk and, you know, do whatever you need to do. Get it out. Get it out, because holding it in, I mean, look at it, it's like a volcano. It can only stay in for so long, and then what? Vesuvius, anyone? So, and seriously, Mother Nature is a reflection of us and our energies. And when we're feeling toxic and suppressing ourselves and explosive, well, guess what happens? And I know someone's going to get mad and say, oh my God, you're blaming the tornadoes on us. Well, if you're the type of person that's going to say that and then attack me over it, well, the answer is probably yes. But no, not really. But as a collective, when we heal ourselves, we heal the planet, period. So instead of, you know, going around thinking, oh, I have to heal everyone else and, you know, I have to go help, and nothing wrong with help. We should help people. In fact, that's like one of the best things you can do to feel good about yourself when you are feeling down. Go help someone less fortunate than you. Okay, so, you know, nothing wrong with that, but we forget to take care of ourselves, and a lot of us that crusade for different, you know, whatever issues there are, a lot of it stems from we don't want to face it, we don't want to admit we have that in ourselves, or we went through this, so we're just going to, you know, save the whales, or whatever. So, anyways, just keep that in mind. And so, yeah, I think I gave a few tips. Go help someone else. All right? Watch a comedy. Do what you need to do. Hang out with good friends who aren't going to judge you. Cry, cuss, scream, lay in bed, pamper yourself, essential oils, baths. You know what? If you have to eat ice cream, go for it. Don't make it a habit, though, because it's not going to make you feel good for long. It might make you feel good for like 5 minutes, but, you know, hey, I did put up a video about the best, most delicious, gluten-free, vegan, organic cacao. It's actually cacao, so chocolate delight. So you can look at that video and you'll have your little chocolate fix in 5 minutes. And actually cacao is good. You know, it helps stimulate serotonin and endorphins production. So, you know, if you have to do that, that's okay too. Try to stay away from like the Hershey's and, you know, the chocolate, the milk, and, you know, GMO, white sugar, and all of that stuff, because that's not really helping anyone in the long run. But I understand. Sometimes we need a quick fix, and all we got is M&M. So, anyways, yeah. So getting back to some oils. Let's see, what else can you use? Mandarin, lavender. You know, bergamot, geranium. I don't know if you can hear my dog. Are you trying to get on video? Yeah. I'm sure you hear her tail. All right, I'm almost done, baby. Juniper is really good. Melissa or calendula. Rose is absolutely fantastic, and it's also good for your skin. Lemongrass is really good. And if you want to get into some other herbs, you know, there's passion flower. Rosemary is really good. Even kava kava. St. John's wort. I talked about skullcap. Gotu kola is another one that's good. Damiana. In fact, Damiana and Datura are really good. You can drink them. You can even smoke them. They're not pot. Okay, you're not going to get high or anything like that. But they are very relaxing and work on the parasympathetic nervous system. Lady's slipper is something that, I don't know, it grows around here. It grows pretty much everywhere. And that's kind of like, I think it's an American valerian, or it's some, you know what, I got to get back to you on that because I don't want to confuse. Never mind, scratch that. But kelp is another one. It's really high in nutrients, and that will kind of, you know, really good for your immune system, and that'll give you a little burst of energy. Peppermint is excellent. Spearmint is kind of calming. So say you're having anxiety, spearmint would probably be a better choice. Depression, spearmint's great too, but peppermint is excellent. Let's see. I don't know. I think I covered probably enough to get you started. Sandalwood, you know, just pick what feels good to you. If you have to go to a health food store and, you know, like smell them or have several of them on hand. You know, what else can I say? I mentioned lavender, right? Yeah. Okay. I think I've done enough for this video, but you know, don't feel like you have to fight it. I mean, if it goes on for, you know, a couple months or something, then, you know what, it's okay to ask for help. But, you know, say you just got back from the war and your best friend died and, you know, things like that happen. It's okay to be depressed. It's not a disease. You don't need a drug. You just need to rest yourself and heal and feel it from your heart. Don't, you know, the suppression stuff is not working. That's why how many 100 million people have like some form of heart issue, you know? That's crazy. It's because we're not feeling from our heart. So anyways, I hope this is enough to get you started. Did I leave anything out? Let's see. Direct upload. Well, if I did, I'm sure you'll let me know. And please do. Thanks so much for listening, and have a good night. Bye.